Well, I'm going to go into a darkness retreat for 4 days when I go home.
You and Aaron Rodgers, I hear.
Reflect on all of this.
So where is he doing this darkness retreat?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think he's going back to Peru to do the ayahuasca, he said. So it's probably somewhere that's out of the country, I would assume. But I don't know. And they slide food under the door, and he sits there, and it's just him and himself, and that's it. The whole thing. So I'm just picturing like the meditation music that you would hear. Like you ever go you go to like spas and stuff.
So there's no Wi-Fi.
Right, like you hear when you walk in, you're getting massage somewhere, and this is Aaron Rodgers in the dark, meditating, waiting for an answer from his guru,
Yeah.
Aaron, you've got a big decision to make.
Go to the Jets. Go to the Jets. Go to the Jets.
You've got options.
Go to the Jets. Go to the Jets.
You
Go to
can
the
go
Jets.
to Las Vegas, where it's a no-tax state, and you're there in one of the entertainment capitals of the world.
Go to the Jets. Go to the Jets.
And you're
Go to the
close
Jets.
to California. Or you could get taxed through your ass on the East Coast in the lovely state of New Jersey.
Go to the Jets. Go to the Jets. Go to the Jets.
Where you play in a shared stadium with the New York Giants. And you have a coach who has no idea what he's doing. And then your old coach who rode you like you were Seattle Slew to a head coaching job.
Go to the Jets. Go to the Jets.
Do you think that the lights come on and he's like,
We're going to the Jets.
we're going to the Jets?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, probably not.
And I would say that there's a very good chance that Derek Carr is going to be off the market.
Yeah.
Okay, that Derek Carr is going to be off the market.
You think he's going to be off the market?
Maybe it sounds like that because he's allowed now to talk to the New Orleans Saints. So remember I was telling you that the Raiders still could trade Derek Carr up to a certain point. I think it's like February 16th or whatever it is. And that if they work out a trade, that would mean the team that's trading for him would have the first opportunity to talk to him about a contract extension. Mm-hmm. So it sounds to me like the Saints are looking at where they are sitting, in the draft, what could be available, and that they are going to make a 5-year or 4 or 5 year commitment to Derek Carr, and they don't want him on the open market. You see what I'm saying? So that's why they're trading for him. So maybe it's a 3rd round pick or a 2nd round pick or whatever, but they would not trade that pick to talk to Derek Carr. It would be if Derek Carr agrees to a contract, then they would agree to make the trade, and then Derek becomes the starting quarterback for the New Orleans Saints. And that makes complete sense to me because that's one of the teams that is outside, the top 10 when it comes to drafting.
Yeah.
And they need a starting quarterback of significance, and they're probably convinced themselves that Derek Carr should be their guy. So that's exactly what the Raiders and Derek Carr are doing right now. It sounds like, okay, hey, I would love to go play for New Orleans. Let's see what New Orleans wants to do for me in terms of contract. So maybe they say, hey, look, we'll give you 5 years, $160, $170 million, something like that, and you're our starting quarterback. And that seems to be the way that thing is now going.
Well, one of the things I read yesterday, because a lot of people were jumping to the conclusion that, he's definitely going to the Saints now because of the first team that he's talking to, is that he's really going to go through this process, that this is the first step in many steps of where he's going to go to check things out. That was one thing that I read from a Raiders person yesterday. Now, I don't know if that person is right, but
he doesn't have to. He could say to the Raiders, "Look, man, you're not trading me to anybody. I'm waiting until I get to free agency." So this is a case where the Saints probably want to be able to talk to Derek and say, look, we want you. We want you to be our quarterback, and here is our offer for you.
Yeah.
And we want to get out in front of everybody so you don't get the free agency. And then if Derek accepts what the Saints are offering him and he wants to go there, then the Saints will make the trade with the Raiders, and the Raiders will get something out of it. He doesn't have to do this if he doesn't want to. The fact that he is doing it, and the fact that this is, it seems like it's going and it's moving in that direction, that means that the Saints are, giving him what I would consider a legitimate offer. I'm telling you, coming to the Jets with him, he doesn't want to come here because the Jets still have hopes out that Zach Wilson may become something. for the Jets, it's got to be like an Aaron Rodgers 2-year type of thing, a Baker Mayfield 2-year type of thing.
This is a mess.
An Andy Dalton 2-year type of thing.
This is officially a mess because
that's what we're talking about.
Every day that goes by, it's less and less likely that Aaron Rodgers becomes a Jet, which is something I never believed was going to happen. Now you're telling me Derek Carr's not going to look at the Jets as a desirable destination, and we're going to be stuck with all these other guys that we were talking about. Baker Mayfield, Andy Dalton, whoever the hell else is out there, and Zach Wilson on the roster. Or maybe they actually go back and start Mike White. This is where we're at now.
These are all options on the table. And really what it comes down to also, I would imagine from the Jets' perspective, how aggressive does Woody Johnson want Joe Douglas to be?
Aggressive with a guy like Aaron Rodgers?
Right. So it also could be, don't forget, Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be out there.
Oh, God, please no. Please no.
But that's who we're talking about. Doesn't seem like it's going to be Aaron Rodgers. As we sit here this morning, it does not look like it's going to be Aaron Rodgers or Derek Carr. Now, could that change if the Jets do something to change the way that the perception is right now? That could be the case, but it sounds like the Saints right now have identified Derek Carr as their guy. So in order to keep him from going to free agency, they have to make the trade with the Raiders and give Derek Carr the contract that he wants. And then Derek Carr's got to sit there and also say, okay, where are the potential landing spots for me where I can get the most term and the most money?
Yeah, and then the options after that are just
Carolina. It's the Saints.
Yeah, right. So those two for Derek Carr are probably better places than the Jets, I'm sure. And if the Raiders, I know that Derek Carr wants to be a free agent, but if somehow the Raiders end up hanging on and want compensation back, that makes it even harder for them to want to trade him within the conference. And those other two teams we just talked about are NFC teams. Now I know it's not the same as Aaron Rodgers because they're done with Derek Carr and they shouldn't necessarily care about where he goes, but we've seen this stuff in the past.
Well, he has this contract that has this kind of unique ending to it. And, they can trade him, and then instead of the Saints meeting what the contract stipulates, the Saints will tear up his contract with the Raiders and start with a whole new contract. And remember, it starts with the guaranteed money, and it's going to be a big number. And if the Saints have identified him as their starting quarterback for the next 5 years, then this is a smart thing to do.
Yeah, and I heard, was it Garrett Wilson with Maggie and Perloff yesterday saying that he would be crying tears of joy if Aaron Rodgers joined the Jets. So this is another one of those things that whoever ends up being the Jets quarterback that isn't Aaron Rodgers.
It's amazing that a rookie wide receiver would say that in lieu of a second-year quarterback on his own team that was the second overall draft pick.
Well, of course. They can't
it's crazy.
stand it.
It's like,
yeah, but we knew that they can't stand Zach Wilson.
I read where Sauce Gardner said yesterday that Zach Wilson was a great teammate.
Right, sure. Well, that's what he's saying now after he liked that tweet.
Right.
He essentially liked the tweet of Zach Wilson sucks and then pretended like he didn't like that tweet, so we know what Sauce thinks about Zach Wilson.
There's all sorts of stuff going on right now.
Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the red bell so you're notified when we have new content.